Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. We are back once again with True Heels BTR Between the Ropes with a very special guest, former ROH Grand Slam champion, current Impact World Tag Team champion, one half of the OGK, a member of Honor No More, Matt Taven. What's going on?
Wow, I want to clap for that introduction alone. Thank you, man. You made me feel a lot more special than I'm feeling right now. No, I'm feeling very special. I don't know, you pumped me up, and now I feel self conscious that I took all the credit for it. But I really like that introduction. I really like that introduction.
I try my best. This is an interview I've been looking forward to. People will know on our YouTube channel, I'm a huge fan of yours because I
Oh, thank
appreciate the
you.
people who can capture the character that can really, everyone can say that's a true heel. So that's what I love to see.
I knew you understood me. I could tell right away, especially from the introduction. I mean, you get what I'm going for. I've said a lot of insulting things to people to their faces over the years, and then when you try to get them to love you, they're not going to love you. You've said all these insulting things to them, so I appreciate someone that sees what the beauty behind what I'm doing.
Absolutely, because you actually once said an insulting thing to me, but I paid it off a year later because I saw you when you first had the purple Kingdom shirts. You were
Yeah.
in the Hammerstein ballroom by the merch table saying that if you bought a t-shirt, you can actually get a girlfriend, all you Melvins. So I came up, I got a t-shirt from you. Then a year later, I had a girlfriend who was pregnant with my kids afterwards. So
I,
it's full. You brought life into this world.
that was the first day of the rest of your life. You see what happened right there? You started something special that night in the Hammerstein. And there are some videos that I don't even, someone will send to me randomly of me doing that concession stand bit. And I would say some of the most outrageous stuff. But every once in a while, I'd wish luck upon you. And look at this. I hope everything's been working out. Hope you
I
still
mean,
have that shirt.
I got twins, a terrible two. So
Oh,
working
jeez.
out, yeah, working out or not is debatable from day to day. But yes, I am blessed, and I can partially thank you for that. So thank you.
Twins, man. I brought twins upon you. Look at this power that I have.
But
No, man. Congratulations. That's awesome. What a story. I got to write that down.
thank you, thank you. My missus always hates that I say that. Yes, a wrestler did bring us closer together. This is the reason why we're together today. But I want to talk about what you've been up to in Impact Wrestling. You've been a very busy man as a member of Honor No More since coming in January, and just recently winning the Impact Tag Team Championships with Mike Bennett, the OGK. So you've won Tag Team Gold with Mike Bennett in New Japan, in Ring of Honor, in Impact Wrestling. How was this feeling? Was it different from all the other times that you were able to win gold with Bennett?
Yeah, no, this one felt like we had something to prove big time. I mean, and not that we hadn't had that in the past, but we always felt like we were in on the road to certain things. And when life gives you lemons and you make lemonade out of it and you're able to kind of find success in a new place out of nowhere, for me and Mike, I, Mike especially, he got fired twice in like the pandemic time, but for both of us kind of finding out the info about Ring of Honor and having our match with the Briscoes at Final Battle and not really knowing what was going to happen next, and walking into Final Battle as the ROH Tag Champions, it was just such a whirlwind of things. And then all of a sudden, boom, we're in Impact Wrestling. And, we got one phone call. All of a sudden, we're in Dallas at Hard to Kill, and it's happening out of nowhere. It's like someone said to me the other day, it was, in less than a calendar year, you've been ROH and Impact Wrestling champions. I was like, and if you told me when I was the ROH tag champion that I was going to be the Impact tag champion a year later, I'd have been like, what are you talking about? But it's been so crazy. But I think for both of us, after everything went down with Ring of Honor, we both just had these chips on our shoulders. Like, we know who we are and what we are at this point. Like, let's go and prove it in another place because we know we can make that happen. Um, So for this one, it was special, man. Once we won and we were handed the titles, we hugged in the ring, and it was kind of one of those things. It was like we did it again, and this one was really kind of for us to prove to everyone, like, we might say a lot of stuff pretty confidently, but we can back it up in the end, because name a place that we've been where we haven't succeeded. So it's another kind of notch on the old belt, but it's probably the most special one as well, just because it's 7 years plus from our original teaming up and winning gold. And obviously the Ring of Honor one was kind of bittersweet because of how everything went down. But this one was like almost a rebirth for us, and really kind of solidifying that we think we're one of the best teams in the world, and no matter where we are, we're going to prove that.
And you certainly have, like I said, winning gold in all these different places. And you touched on we're going on 1 year since Ring of Honor made their announcement in October of 2021 about, closing up, going on hiatus, Sinclair Broadcasting kind of getting away from the company. Tell me your reaction to that news when you were finding out, just winning the ROH Tag Team Championships, and then finding out that news. And then what was kind of the transition point? Because you kind of told us a little bit about what you and Mike were thinking about after that situation happened. How do you feel you came upon, Impact Wrestling as the next move for you guys?
Man, it was very wild time, and so it's hard to kind of sum this up in a couple of snippets here, but it's the pandemic clearly was tough for most companies, and every company kind of came back and were doing their thing and handling it in different ways. And I'll never say enough of how great Sinclair Broadcasting was to all the guys and girls in Ring of Honor. Took care of all of us and really always looked out for us. But once we started coming back, and we weren't having live crowds, and just the amount of money you were seeing being spent on COVID tests and single rooms and just all these venues, and you can't fill it with people to kind of recoup all that overhead. You kind of knew that, oh, this is probably something that can't, we can't really keep doing this for that much longer. And even when the news kind of came out, it was still kind of left up in the air. It was like, all right, we need to kind of take a break until the end of the year, and then we can come back with next year's budget and kind of see where we're at. And hopefully some of those expenditures and overhead were going to be kind of wiped out, maybe just with as the pandemic was progressing. But it was such a up in the air time. But I just kind of always thought of it as like, all right, well, there's always a chance that this could be the ends one way or the other. So take advantage of every moment that happens, because if it's not, well, then bonus. That's just extra. But if it is, you don't want to look back and be like, oh man, I wish I enjoyed or took in that moment a little bit more. So for us, winning the tag titles, also kind of talking about what the future held for us, it was a bittersweet winning, because we knew, the inevitable was coming. So it was like, oh, this is cool. At the same time, we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but we knew we wanted to kind of go out on a high note with the Briscoes, and there's no better team that has brought out the best in the OGK than the Briscoes. I think whether it's, us seeing each other in Impact or Ring of Honor or NWA, it's just always, it's money anytime the OGK and the Briscoes are in the ring together. So it was definitely quite the moment, because we took that moment in to really kind of pat ourselves on the back at Final Battle, because we thought we had one hell of a match. And at the same time, it's only a couple of days before we got a phone call kind of out of the blue with Impact, because again, you don't know. We really had no idea what exactly was going to happen with ROH. We knew that there was a plan to come back in April, and we didn't know what necessarily that would entail. So we kind of were just seeing the lay of the land a little bit, and Impact called, and before you knew it, we're on a flight to Dallas. And I was like, honestly, I think maybe 2 days before, I don't think I was going to Dallas. And then if de facto, here we are, we're running out at the pay-per-view. And so it was so quick that you really didn't have a chance to kind of take it all in and process what just happened. Before you knew it, we were on a new company. And I can remember vividly looking at the turnbuckle pads and them not saying ROH, them saying Impact Wrestling, and being like, man, that's different. And it was just such a little thing, but I remember it catching me off guard. And it was just wild because it was a roller coaster ride those past couple of months. And I was always remained positive and still was hoping that something would happen with ROH, because the last thing I wanted was it to fade away forever and the legacy to happen. So I'm very happy that, Tony picked it up and it's still a place where people can go and be seen and do great things. So it all worked out in the end. And here we are finding ourselves at Impact Wrestling just a month or two after really kind of finding out that our futures were up in the air. And then all of a sudden we're at Final Battle. Now a week or two later, we're running out on an Impact pay-per-view. So it was wild. But now that we've kind of found our footing in Impact Wrestling, Mike and I always were looking to, grab these titles and to prove that what we had when we first came back wasn't just a Ring of Honor nostalgia act. It wasn't just, these two guys were former champs and now they're coming back together and, that's a Ring of Honor thing. It was like, no, we can make it happen anywhere we go. So for us to grab these Impact titles it was cool because it's been a wild couple of months and it just started kind of feeling like the ground started it started shaking less. I wouldn't say it's completely comfortable under our feet, but it's definitely less rocky underneath us. But to kind of put our flag in the ground and say, hey, look what we've done here at Impact Wrestling, I think is something that we're really proud of and we'll look back on fondly.
Absolutely. You guys have proven yourself to be one of the more prolific tag teams of the last couple of years with all your reigns in all these different places. But you've also made yourself a name for being in very, prominent stables and groups, whether it's the original version of the Kingdom in Ring of Honor, the Kingdom Part 2, the first ever 6-man tag team champions in Ring of Honor history. And now you're in Honor No More. How is that different from the other groups that you've been in and all the different characters and how this group has come together over the last couple of months?
Oof, they all seem so like when you said that, I was like, oh man, I have been in a lot of groups. And I guess I never think of it because they've all been so drastically different. Clearly, the two versions of the Kingdom were really only the same in namesake. Adam was the leader the first time. The second time it was me. I kind of I came back from Mexico and really found my voice, I felt like, and was like, I'm ready to kind of give me that microphone, put me in front of the camera. I'm ready to say my piece and I can back it up in the ring. So that's when I really started to kind of find my own. And from being the first 6-man tag champs to holding those belts 3 times, but it also catapulted me to clearly the Ring of Honor World title and Madison Square Garden. Also finding, single success in Mexico at the time, all that really built to MSG and to the moment where I was able to finally capture the Ring of Honor World title. But when that came to an end and you really kind of saw what that group held on, had in Ring of Honor and how it really, elevated Vincent to a level where he was going to be one of the top guys in Ring of Honor. It definitely, like I said, it changed me, but also changed him. So now here comes Mike. He's coming back from being in WWE and Impact and, doing great things, especially in Impact where, now we're heading back to, it's a little different than the time he was there, but he still had his moments there as the Miracles. So it's like Eddie obviously has proven himself. Kenny King has proven himself. PCO, a former Ring of Honor World Champion. When Honor No More came together, it was almost like I don't really watch superhero movies, but I was told that a reference of the Avengers or whatever that where it's just like a group of all these different guys that really were not leaning on each other per se, but we're all could stand our own ground. And here we are coming together. it felt so different than the previous incarnations of the kingdom, because the first one definitely, Adam was the guy, and me and Mike were on our way up, and it was all real friends. And then the second one, like I said, it was kind of switched where I took that lead role and the guys were coming up and we were all friends as well. And then this one is guys that have been friends more, behind the scenes, but all are coming as legit individual stars with something to prove. And I think that's when it's like, all right, this is not about friendships and having a good time. This is about like our jobs and our livelihood. Like, let's come here and take this place over. So I think that's why Honor No More has had this impact right away. And now, we're 9 months into it, and I just feel like we're kind of finding our stride right now.
Yeah, you got a bunch of momentum, like I said before, winning the Impact World Tag Team Championships. And then you also got Eddie Edwards, who's the #1 contender for the Impact World Championship against Josh Alexander at the biggest event for Impact Wrestling, Bound for Glory, in October. What's your thoughts on this big matchup, and what is it going to mean for kind of the future of Honor No More?
I mean, this is huge, not just because it's this is Eddie Edwards' shop, but this is all of us really kind of going back home to where we really made names for ourselves in the Northeast. Vincent, myself, Mike Bennett, Eddie Edwards, we're all from the New England area, and we're not far from home when it comes to Albany. There's an easy ride down the Mass Pike to hit Albany from where I was living for years. And so for all of us to kind of come back to our old stomping grounds, we're coming back with something to prove. We came in kind of saying exactly how we thought it was going to be. Took a little longer to get there, in my opinion, than we probably originally expected. But like I said, we're just finding our stride now. And I feel like it's all coming to a head at Bound for Glory. Kenny King got screwed out of the X Division championship this past week on television. I feel like he deserves his shot at that title again. Obviously, we have the tag titles, and we're not going to lose those before Bound for Glory. I need to go back home with the titles. I can't just, I need pictures with the fam. But Eddie Edwards being able to think of like a shot of all of us back up north holding the Impact titles that we all finally got our shots at after all these months, and Eddie Edwards being able to capture the Impact Wrestling World title. Because I've said this before, to me, Eddie Edwards is Impact Wrestling. We were friends in Ring of Honor, and when he left, I always kind of kept up with what he was doing, and we always talk from time to time anyway, just because we're good friends that have gone way back, and to see everything that he's sacrificed and has been through at Impact Wrestling, like, this is his moment. This is what we've all been waiting for, and now he's got all of us as backup, and we're not going to let him down. And we know that this is what he's wanted since we all came into Impact. He wanted this moment where he can stand next to all the guys that he helped come into Impact Wrestling and be the world champion and say, this is my company now. So that's what I'm planning is going to happen in Albany. So I don't like to make plans that I don't follow through on. So that's what's going to happen. I'm going to just guarantee it right now. I'll just guarantee it. That's what will happen at the end of Bound for Glory. You'll see Honor No More, not just with the tag titles, but with the world championship as well. It's just the way the story needs to end. There's no other way it can.
It seems like poetic justice. That's what you guys deserve.
Exactly.
Should have got it months ago, but they
can't write this stuff.
Better late than never. We do have to wrap up this interview. I want to thank you so much, Matt Taven, for joining me. If you want to let the people know anything, as well as I do have a simple request, because we get a bunch of people on our YouTube channel, whether it's on watch-alongs, reviews, and it doesn't matter if it's about Impact Wrestling or not. They bring up Matt Taven because they are fans of you or haters of you. It depends on how much they bring it up. In my eyes, I feel like they're fans. But for anyone who ever has said a bad word about you on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, if you can give them one message, please let it be now.
If you have ever said anything bad about Matt Taven, I want you to know something. You don't hate me. You hate yourself. And I'm sorry that you hate yourself. I know that you look in the mirror and you say, why? Why are you such a Melvin? I got to take it out on someone. I got to take it out on Matt Taven. Look how I've changed people's lives. One t-shirt has led to twins. Do you understand this? You can change your life today. You can stop being so embarrassed when you look in the mirror. You can start smiling when you see a reflection coming back at you. If you just realize you need to follow the trend, because he is I and I am him and I'm Matt Taven. Oh, that just feels good, doesn't it?
That just warmed my heart, warmed my soul. Thank you so much, Matt
Thank
Taven.
you. Thank you. You proved my point. You see what happens? Twins, baby. Twins. He didn't get that much sleep for the last 2 years, but it'll work out in the end.
Pray for me. The magic of twins, the magic of Matt Taven. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to Impact Wrestling. Check out Impact Wrestling, Impact Plus, the next big show in September, Victory Road. And then we're on the road to Bound for Glory in October in Albany, New York. Thank you so much to Matt Taven and Impact Wrestling. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. This has been True Heels BTR Between the Ropes with Matt Taven. Signing off until next time.